Are you a criminal? Most of you say no, and most of you are right. But the thing is, the law defines pictures in black and white, right versus wrong. And truth be told, your innocent behaviors today were once condemned and very criminal. We can't let the law decide for us who we believe is good and bad, and tonight I'll explain why. But before I blow your minds away, let me bore you about who I am. Kidding, calm down. I'm not here to talk about my profile. I'm actually here to help discover your profile. And no, I don't mean that adorable Facebook profile. I mean your criminal profile. So let's take a big step back and let's observe one of those average days full of those average activities that we both know most of you have experienced. And let's find out together just how much of a criminal your behaviors throughout that day would have made you once upon a time. So picture this. It's a cold winter Sunday, and unfortunately you're called into work early. You're sleeping in the perfect bed, having perfect dreams about winning the lottery and tobogganing with your family, when suddenly your alarm clock jolts you awake, you get up and you yell, "Oh my God, holy Christ." Sounds normal, right? It's happened. Guilty. Believe it or not, the day's just begun, and you've already engaged in a behavior that was once seen as criminal. Using the Lord's name in vain was blasphemous in Canada from the mid-1600s to 1700s. And your punishment? Not to worry, nothing short of public torment and humiliation. But it doesn't stop there. So you're on your way to work, and you hear that Lotto Max is at $65 million. So you do what most people do, and you head to the nearest store to pick up a ticket. I mean, you've got to be crazy not to. The energy is there, and you guys think this could be a winning ticket. This sounds pretty normal, right? Guilty as charged. In the late 1800s, Canada had a complete ban on all gambling activities, including buying lottery tickets. And your punishment for this, get this, $10,000 or up to 2 years imprisonment. Now what's crazy is these people were labeled criminals, but they're really no different than you and I today. But the story goes on. So you end up having a really stressful day at work, as most of us have had, and you decide you want to do something fun with your family that night. Remember, it is a cold winter Sunday, so you decide to take them tobogganing. Nothing out of the usual. I know I've done it, and I know at least some of you have done it. Guilty as charged. Don't tell me you guys didn't know about the Lord's Day Act in 1906 that prevented any entertainment on Sundays, including tobogganing. And your punishment for this? $3,000 or up to 8 months imprisonment. Now, if we combine all of your innocent behaviors, we get a nice, clean criminal record. You guys are looking at $13,000 owed to the government, 3 years imprisonment, and of course, a side of public torment and humiliation. Congratulations. But this really does speak towards the arbitrary powers of the law to shape who we define as good and bad. And now that you have a general understanding of the different behaviors you would have been criminally convicted for, you have to wonder, is it truly deviant to buy a lottery ticket or to go tobogganing with your family? It's important to question these forces that shape your perspectives every day. And not only that, it's important to understand the structural reasons for why people are generally unaware of these powers that the law has on shaping your attitudes, your values, your beliefs, and ultimately your reality. I mean, it is this knowledge that affects whether you agree that a marijuana smoker is truly a criminal. So ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today, a university-educated student making a very bold statement. A core problem exists here. It's a problem of unawareness, and because it is a problem of unawareness, it's a problem of non-existence to people. And for me, that is truly concerning. Specifically, there is a general unawareness for the average person to understand the extent to which the law shapes their opinions of others, whether we want it or not. We're forced to literally arbitrarily categorize people into binaries, good and bad. And because laws change, our perspective of people do as well. Now, one reason why this problem exists is childhood ignorance. How are we able to understand the law as this developing social construct if we're uneducated on the history of our laws? We're not given the opportunity to see how our laws have changed over time. And that's why people assume that what is illegal today is immoral. And that's just narrow-minded thinking. For example, today's media saturates us in today's news and laws only, and it limits our abilities to understand the law further than the here and now. It'd be like buying a car, then experiencing problems with it. And in order to understand those problems, you need to know the history of that car. The second reason why this problem exists continues through adolescence and well into adulthood, and it involves lacking the appropriate power to influence the law. The idea here is that the average person, you and I, are merely just customers or bystanders to both the law and the creation of it. It's a superpower to us. In other words, it's given to us by a higher authority, and we can't negotiate with it. And that may be because we don't know how to negotiate with it, or we're just unaware of its process to change. But again, it's like buying that used car, struggling to research its problems because we don't understand what we're reading. We can't influence it. So how do we change these problems? Well, that's very tough. So instead, I ask you to do 3 things. Educate yourself, question things, and avoid making judgment without thought. Because remember, the law is socially constructed, and our natural opinions may be very different from the ones the law wants us to make. So ladies and gentlemen, tonight you came to me as bystanders of the law, and unfortunately you're leaving as bystanders of the law. But now you are equipped with the appropriate knowledge of the forces that shape your perspectives every day. So I do have to ask you one more time, are you a criminal? Thank you.